Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Glassman's World. So we are getting ready for Balloon Fiesta, guys. I am pretty excited about it. We're less than a day away, actually, which is pretty amazing. In the morning, there's going to be some balloon activities going on. We got a bunch of balloons coming into town. Our balloon will be coming into town. This is a Polar Dawn right here. So I'll be crewing once again for our balloon here. Uh, Pilot's coming in from Concord, New Hampshire. Every year he comes in. Just made a bunch of balloons. Got more balloons just fresh out the kiln. So these are all ready to go. Got some beautiful, like pumpkin orange and some peacock blue. Some really beautiful, basically like turquoise and orange there. Got some beautiful balloons ready to go, guys. Here, maybe I'll just leave these up here so we can keep them in view. I got a few more over here of our balloon, which I've made. And these ones are a better version or a replica than these ones here. So this is, let me show you the difference. This is the one that I've been wearing. This is a generic mimic replica, and then this one here is more in details. You can see there's more color, more line work on this one. Basically, there's twice as much color on here, or twice as many lines, and that way it looks more like our balloon than this one here. This one has the same amount of line work than that one there. So as you can see, and I'm covering up the name here, that's called High Polarity, but our balloon is actually Polar Dawn. So this is a misprint, guys. I've got a bunch of misprints, but let's keep that just in the background there, just for fun. And yeah, we got these ones here. So usually these ones here, the basic ones in the far back, are $20, and I'm doing these at 6 for $100 during the Balloon Fiesta. I may do 3 for 50 here and there, but I'm really just hoping that, you know, people just want to just go real quick, 6 of them for $100. That way I'm not having to worry about sales and transactions and things all morning while I'm out there crewing. I don't have a booth, guys. So these balloons, you can't find them anywhere except through me, exclusively through me. There's a couple places around town that are carrying them. There's a place on Wyoming and Constitution called the Beat It Iris, and they're tucked away in the far north corner there, the east corner. And then there's another place on Manal and Louisiana, which has nothing to do with beads, has nothing to do with balloons, but they are a local dispensary here called ABQ Craft, which I think I can show off their logo here. ABQ Craft, right there at Manal and Louisiana, the northwest corner, right by Stanton Optical there. And they have an awesome location right across the street from the Sheraton Hotel. And during Balloon Fiesta, if you guys don't know, all the hotels get booked up. There won't be any balloons, right? Like it, or sorry, any balloons. There won't be any balloons at Balloon Fiesta this year. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say there won't be any rooms available. If you find a room, I would love to hear about it. That would be impressive. If you could find a room right now on a Thursday, 2 days away from Balloon Fiesta. The official start is opening day is, I believe, at 7 a.m. Maybe 6:30. Maybe somewhere in between there. Dawn Patrol, we are the unofficial launch to Balloon Fiesta, but the official start of the day is when they do the national anthem and they launch the balloon of the day, which actually comes after Dawn Patrol. So it's kind of interesting. We are like the very first show in the morning where we go up when it's still dark of night, you know, before the sun has even come up. And it's a really exciting event. We are the only glow in the sky, the only balloon glow. There's some people who will be going out on special nights where they do the balloon glows, especially on the special shapes night, which is next Thursday, I believe, and Friday. And I think that's when they do the balloon glow. I don't have any sort of a schedule of events or anything like that, but I do know that we could go to balloonfiesta.com and you can check out all the events there. You can see where Balloons Aloft is going to be, which will be happening tomorrow morning. So that is the unofficial start to Balloon Fiesta, is tomorrow morning. Friday morning, right before Balloon Fiesta starts. On Saturday, they do a thing called Balloons Aloft or Albuquerque Aloft, where they have a bunch of balloons. Like we're talking, I don't know how many, like close to 100 balloons, dozens of balloons are going to be set up at different schools. A lot of elementary schools, maybe a few middle schools, but mostly elementary schools where, you know, the kids get dropped off early in the morning between like 7 and 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. And so a lot of these balloon pilots are going to be at different schools. And you can go to balloonfiesta.com where you can get more information. And I'll try to put that information down either in the comments or in the description so that way you can get to it. I'm not working for balloonfiesta.com. I am volunteering to chase, to be part of a balloon chase crew. So this will be my 10th year working with Polar Dawn over here and chasing a balloon. Actually, I think this will be the 9th year. The very first year, this could be the 8th year with Polar Dawn. The very first year and maybe the second year, we had another balloon called Missing Bear. And then Rick, our pilot, he ended up purchasing this balloon or designing this balloon specifically for Dawn Patrol. Which it's an ultra lightweight fabric, so it's very see-through. So when he hits that burner, the light comes through it like nobody's business. We glow in the sky. It is amazing. If you saw the screenshot to this video here, that is actually me in the all the way to the far left in the Polar Dawn balloon with the pilot Rick Jones, and we're up in the air with several other balloons, floating Oasis, and I don't remember which other balloon was in there. I don't know if it was the Chick-fil-A balloon or which balloon it was, but we have a lot of fun, guys. That was an amazing mass ascension where we all launched, took off, lifted off together, all at the same time. So Dawn Patrol is basically hand-selected group of balloons. About a dozen or less balloons become part of Dawn Patrol. And that year, we all went up all at the same time, and it was spectacular, but also extremely dangerous. We were so close to one another that we could reach out of the gondola, the basket, the balloon basket, and we could touch the other balloon, which we actually had to in order to walk the balloon away from our gondola so it wouldn't rip and tear their fabric. It was pretty scary, but also pretty amazing. It was a beautiful flight. So I look forward to some amazing flights this year. I usually get one flight in every year. maybe 2. So we'll see. It looks like we have a pretty awesome crew coming in with some of our old timers, the ones who've been around since the beginning. The guy who invited me in, Mr. Kevin Painter, thank you so much for inviting me in several years ago, or a decade ago. Geez, several. We're at a decade now. But thank you so much for inviting me in. And you know, that first year you weren't around, but I still stuck around and had a blast. It was amazing. I didn't get to fly that year, but I was hooked. I was so stoked to want to come back the following year, and then the following year. And like I said, this is now my 10th year being part of this same balloon crew. There's been a couple times off season away from Balloon Fiesta where I've tried to work with some other balloon teams for money. Like I said, this is all volunteer. We don't get paid to work with Rick and Polar Dawn. We basically volunteer our time. So you know, every time that we're there, it's on us to get there, to make sure we get to wherever the crew is meeting up, and then we can jump in with the rest of the crew and get into the van or the chase vehicle and get onto the field with everyone else. So it's on us to get there, but once we're there in the chase vehicle, then we get to go onto the field. We arrive by about 5 a.m. We start unpacking, so it's a lot of hurry up and then wait for that first hour. So during that time, at 5 a.m., if you guys are on field, I would highly recommend coming out, trying to find us. We're usually set up in the middle of the field, the M row, middle row, M row. It's where they set up the main stage, M, main stage, middle row for the morning show, the morning dawn patrol. So if you can remember the M row, we're usually set up there. And for many years now, we've pretty much been in the same location, which has been about M4. Sometimes we get pushed to like M5 or M2, M3, but usually we're at M4. So don't quote me on that, but you could probably look in the middle of the field. It's like center stage. There's no other balloons that are going to be going up with us for Dawn Patrol. There should be no other balloons standing up during Dawn Patrol. Once we lift off, then they do the national anthem, and then they do the balloon of the day, and then that's when all the other balloons start to inflate, and then they start lifting off. And then that's a spectacular sight to see, where you get hundreds of hot air balloons all up in the air all at one time. It's really amazing, guys. So right now I'm working on this, it's a cobalt blue with the peacock blue or the turquoise blue. It's really called peacock, but a lot of people see it as turquoise. So I got turquoise and cobalt blue here with the solid vertical stripes. So the trick is heating this up just right, not too close to the top, so that way I don't mash the top down. Trying to keep that heat more to the center and to the bottom of the balloon, so that way when I get the paddle, then I can bring it down gradually, and it gives it that more of a balloon globe look, where it rounds it a lot better. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cough right now. Been drinking some tea, some OSHA honey all day. Been helping a little bit. But something's been going around. And then the seasons have changed. Usually when the seasons change is when a lot of people start to get sick, and the cold and the flu comes back around. But I got a little itch in my throat. I'm hoping that it'll be gone by Saturday. So how you guys doing? I see that we got a few people watching here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dan the Glass Man, and I highly recommend subscribing That way that you can get all of the notifications for this weekend when I'm at Balloon Fiesta. I will be going live and streaming live. I heard that they put a new fiber optic cable under the ground, so we should have quicker speeds. And because there are thousands, like tens of thousands, 100,000 people out there all at once, all trying to get on the same signal and send out photos and go live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, posting up on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Twitter, everywhere, wherever people are at. And so we'll find out if the connection is going to be better this year. But I strongly recommend that you tune in to me every morning to the Glassman's World, and then you can watch Polar Dawn and us setting up every morning, and us crewing and getting it all inflated and ready to go. It's a lot of fun to check it out. It's even better to be there live. So if you are at Balloon Fiesta Park at 5 a.m., come try to find us in Emerald. Also, we usually come back after we fly, so we normally will get a good 3-hour flight or less. 3 hours is about the maximum for a balloon flight. If you get 3 hours, then that's an amazing flight. Usually they're about an hour to 2 hours, give or take. It all depends on the day, the winds, the speeds, and a lot of different factors come in on that. And then the pilot decides on how long and where he wants to fly, and how long he wants to push the limits. Sometimes you may be like, well, we can bring the balloon down here nice and safely. If we go any further, we may not have the safest landing spots. So it's always up to the balloon pilot to really use his discernment for those kind of things. So, you may only get a 45-minute balloon flight while you're paying for them, like at Rainbow Riders and places like that for the balloon rides. But I think they guarantee you at least a 45-minute flight. Alright, so we're almost done here with the first balloon here. So a couple things to look out for. Balloon Fiesta unofficially starts tomorrow during the Albuquerque Aloft event. So I would try to put up the Balloon Fiesta, balloonfiesta.com website in the description or in the comments below. And then that way you guys can go and check out all the different events that they have set up. The concert that they have set up for, I think it's the last Saturday. And that's when it's like the big shebang. A lot of people come out just for that concert. And it's a big old tailgate party out there on the field. I don't know if we can bring charcoal grills anymore. We used to be able to. I think now we can bring like electric Coleman grills out there if you got like a generator. But with all the propane and stuff, I don't think we can actually do barbecue grills anymore like we used to. I think regulations shut that down a few years back. I know a few years ago during the concert there was a huge winds that came in out of nowhere and blew the stage roof down, I believe, and a few people were injured, and that was pretty scary. I was not there. They usually have country music, so I normally don't stick around for that concert. Maybe every once in a while I've stuck around, but it's, we're so tired, and by the end of the week we're just like, oh my gosh, like I just want to get home after that last Saturday of flying, and then be prepared for Sunday, the last day, and then also to say our goodbyes to everyone. So opening ceremony will be after Dawn Patrol every morning. I do believe that they're going to have a drone show, but I'm not sure. I also saw that Balloon Fiesta Live, if you go to their YouTube channel, which, like I said, I don't work for them. I'm a balloonatic, so I just love balloons, and I love being able to bring others into this whole world and realm of hot air ballooning. So if you really want to check out the whole show from the comfort of your living room, your bathtub, wherever you want to watch it from, your bed, outside in the backyard, on the lake, boat, wherever you want to watch Balloon Fiesta from, you could just go to Balloon Fiesta Live on YouTube here, and every morning just tune in, and they'll have a show for you. I commented on their post earlier on Facebook on, man, I wish you guys would go a little earlier and cover Dawn Patrol. And the new guy who took over Glenn Moyer's spot. So there used to be Art Lloyd Jr. and Glenn Moyer for many years, and now we have a new guy. Is it Anthony Mays? I don't want to get his name wrong, but he mentioned that they always cover Dawn Patrol. And I'm thinking, no, actually, the coverage starts after we launch and lift off usually. It normally doesn't happen super early in the morning. I think they maybe start live right at 6 a.m. So that's when the commercials coming in. You're like, you're watching Balloon Fiesta Live, and all the music kicks in and everything, and then they show like all their like promo stuff in the morning, and then they will maybe bring in a live view of the park, maybe from up above or maybe from the ground, and they might show Dawn Patrol up in the air, but they don't highlight us. Like, they don't come over and really get like any real good interviews with Dawn Patrol and things like that. It's usually afterward. Sometimes they'll come over and they'll do like an interview, and then they'll play it later on. They'll show it like later in the broadcast. But I mean, like, for them to do an actual live capture of Dawn Patrol, I don't think they actually do that. I think we go up in the air, and then Balloon Fiesta Live turns on or starts. So it's like a simultaneous thing. So you don't really get to see the launching of Dawn Patrol unless they're showing you like footage that they just took from a few minutes prior to that. So that's why I'm saying, if you guys want to see Dawn Patrol and you see the whole thing go down from beginning to end, what it takes to set up a balloon, you know, how many crew members it takes, what kind of equipment we have and use, you know, you can ask all kinds of questions. I'll be there able to answer as many questions as I possibly can. I will be working and helping to crew, so usually I'll just put the camera up in some spot on a tripod, and then I'll just let it be and just let it run, and then I'll come back to it from time to time, and then I'll talk to the crowd. But usually I'm out there working and doing stuff that I can't really like pay attention to the camera and stuff like that. But I've learned some tricks, like putting the tripod, like two of the legs down into my belt loop, so then I can walk with the camera on me without actually having to hold the camera. So if I have to like do if I gotta run the crown line, which is holding a rope that goes all the way to the top of the balloon, and you kind of hold the balloon, the whole entire balloon, steady. You know, it's like this, I don't know, 1,000-foot tall balloon, and you're like 5 foot tall, 6 foot tall, right? And you're holding this big old thing steady with a little rope. That's how you wrangle a balloon right there. So yeah, I might do crown line, but we'll see how my shoulder is My shoulder's been giving me issues, and I really don't want to injure it any more than I need to. And I know we got some big guys on the crew that they'll do crown line, and I can just help them at crown line and make sure that I'm patrolling the crowd and make sure no one gets clotheslined or anything like that. You got to be real careful out there and pay attention. There's a lot of ropes and a lot of equipment and a lot of things on the ground you got to really pay attention to. And then we might like block you off from being able to cross the field at certain places. So, you know, we'll do it the most kindness that we possibly can. Sometimes you have new crew members who are like really bossy, and they're like, hey, it's like 5 a.m., man. Remember, it's 5 a.m. People still haven't had their coffee yet. And you just got to say, hey, we're going to be bringing this balloon in through this way. So if you guys can just like back up around this way, that'd be really awesome. If you can help hold the crowd there and you help hold the crowd there, awesome. And then you like give them a little bit of a job or an assignment, and then they feel like they're part of the team. They're helping us, keeping others back, and that's the easy way to do it. Just be real polite and courteous to them, and you know, a lot of thank yous and please, and just you know, you don't want to yell at them, bark orders at people. Hey, get out of the way! Coming through! Get out of the way! But you'll hear people like, I don't know, they get frustrated. They don't know how to do crowd control too well in a polite, well-behaved manner. So you do want to watch out for us when we're coming through with the crown lines. When the balloon's launching, you want to make sure you're nowhere in front of the balloon basket. You want to make sure you're always looking, checking your back. You don't want a balloon to be coming down towards you and land on top of you. They'll do their best to let you know they're coming in, but sometimes they might not have the ability to warn you, and you may not be paying attention enough to really turn around quick enough. So there have been accidents. I've seen some crazy things where, you know, a whole entire balloon basket will take out a row of people sitting down in their little lawn chairs because they think, oh, well, I'm sitting here, so they better not come land through here. And it's like, no, sometimes a balloon has to come down, and you might be in the landing zone. So you got to always make sure that if you're planting yourself down, to always be prepared to move right away. That's one big safety. Another thing is, you know, you want to try to plan out which balloons you really want to go see. And then, you know, the balloon card that I have over here in the back, we get about 1,000 of these. I think the Special Shapes gets about 2,000 of these cards, and we hand them out to people who ask for them. So all you have to do is go up to a balloon crew while they're setting up and be like, hey, do you guys got any balloon cards? And then we'll just hand them out. You know, a lot of kids, a lot of us big kids like myself will go through and we'll, you know, we'll ask for balloon cards, and we'll get a whole stack of them. I'm a big kid too. That's why I'm such a balloonatic. I love the balloons. But there's going to be so many different things on field. There's usually the wood carving all the way to the far north. You got the creative arts booth, and sometimes they have live art demonstrations there next to the wood carving in the far northeast corner of the field. The RV parking is on that side, and well, there's RV parking on both sides, the north side and the south side. I don't know if there's other RV parking anywhere else. I heard that they have bathrooms. Instead of using porta potties, for the first time this year, they actually have bathrooms, guys. I think what that's about is that they're going to be converting Balloon Fiesta Park into the new New Mexico United soccer team field. I don't know what that's going to do for Balloon Fiesta, because I do believe right now is soccer season during Balloon Fiesta season. So I don't really know how that's going to work. If there's going to be a whole separate field for soccer. Like, what if we are launching balloons during a soccer event. Like, that's going to be one of the most amazing soccer destinations to come to during Balloon Fiesta, right? But I don't know if they're planning to use the same field that they have us launching from. Are we going to be launching from a soccer field? Are we going to have spectator stands now so people can sit down and watch the Balloon Fiesta from the sides, and then you like go to a concession row behind the bleachers or something? Like, I'm really wondering how they're gonna convert this and change it all up. It's really interesting. So down on the field, all the way along the east side of the field is vendor row, and that's where you can get all your different souvenirs and your breakfast burritos. I highly recommend checking out the massage chair booth, where you can sit down and get a nice little demonstration on a $2,000 to $5,000 massage chair, which one of our crew members actually purchased a couple years ago. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to be over here like every day, at least once a week. I helped him deliver it, and I never went back. I'm like, man, that massage chair probably is amazing. So then you got the vendor row. You got all kinds of people there. We used to have the Steve Stucker Channel 4 news presentation in the morning show, but I don't think Steve Stucker is there anymore. He might do some appearances from time to time, like on the weekends, but I don't think they do that like all the time anymore. He's the balloon pin guy, the guy that walks around with the big old white scientist coat, the lab coat that's full of balloon pins, that he says it weighs like, I think he says it weighs about 100 pounds. I'm like, man, that's heavy, dude. Better you than me. Imagine trying to walk around that whole entire field with that. I'm sure he probably, when he has it, he puts it on for photos and stuff here and there, and then takes it off right away and gives it to like his handlers, and they take care of his stuff for him. So some other cool things going on. Balloon Fiesta Museum will have a bunch of events every day. There's going to be a whole bunch of different arts and crafts events around the town, around Albuquerque. A lot of different events, including the Rio Grande Arts and Crafts Festival. I don't know how many years it's been. I tried to get into that many years ago, and I wasn't accepted. And then I started crewing, and now I can't even do any sort of vending or anything really during Balloon Fiesta. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to let you guys go now. Just kidding. Every time I say that, it's usually when people start coming in. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys have a good day. We're going to see you guys on Saturday for Balloon Fiesta opening day, Dawn Patrol, 6 a.m. If you're there at 5 a.m., find us. I don't know. Usually around the 1 hour mark? We're at 33 minutes. And then we start slowly getting people to come in. So I was thinking it would be kind of crazy to do this, but it takes me 25 hours, 24, 25. I think it takes about 25 hours for me to make 100 of these balloons. I can make, I think, one every 15 minutes or 4 an hour. So that's where I came up with the 25 hours in order to make 100 balloons. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be crazy if I streamed for a whole 24 hours and seen how many glass balloons I could make in one day. Wouldn't that be crazy? A 24-hour live stream? But it would take 25 hours to get to that 100. See, I just said I was gonna leave, and now we got a couple people coming in and watching. Thanks for tuning in. So I don't know, that would be kind of crazy to just go live for 24 hours and just see how many balloons can I actually make, and try to fill up the whole bottom of the kiln. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do that one of these days, and we'll do like a subscriber push and try to get, like 1,000 subscribers in that amount of time or something, and do some giveaways and stuff like that. But I still got to send out a whole bunch of the prizes and everything from the last giveaway. So I still got to work on getting those out, and still got to figure out who won what. There's some people who still haven't got back to me on which prizes, and I might just have to like I don't know, I can keep them in the hutch and keep them in the hutch forever. But it'd be nice if I knew what to send to who. But there's only a few individuals who haven't got back to me, so it's pretty much done. And there's 2 individuals that I know have been waiting for a while, and so I plan to basically do what I normally do when I have long delays, is just send them like a little bit of what a little bit of everything, instead of just the one prize that they're gonna win. They're gonna get a nice little variety pack of some Gardenia glass. I can ship one item the same amount as I can ship several items. The weight of glass doesn't really fluctuate too much until you get into like really large bulk orders. So yeah, I do apologize for my delay, but I do hope that what I send you makes up for it. All right, and then it's 5:30 right now. I'm getting close to it, so I'll probably get going here in a little bit so I can get some dinner going for the fam. And then I don't know, we'll see. I've been trying to stay up till about 1 o'clock in the evening to blow glass and make as many balloons as I possibly can throughout the day, in the morning and in the evening times. And usually I try to make at least a dozen custom balloons for individuals, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that this year. Right now I'm like barely getting out like 5 to 10 balloons per day, and they're not even custom balloons. The other thing too is I'm low on my glass supply. I don't have as many colors as I need for the palette of all the different balloons that are going to be out there. I probably need like a good $200 worth of colors right now, and I got to pay rent tomorrow. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to push a bunch of these glass balloons out on the first day, maybe even tomorrow, and then I can just go over to the glass supply shop and get me some more colors after we're done chasing on Saturday. That's if they're open on the weekends. I hope I don't have to wait till Monday. I should probably make a call tomorrow. Alright, so right now we're going to taper this down, and we're going to, what we call flame cut. We're going to basically get this part molten. We're going to stretch this off of the rod that I'm holding with my right hand. The balloon's going to stay in my left hand here, which is attached to that piece of glass, which we call a punty or a pontile. And that's basically going to just hold the glass. It's basically tack welded on. So it's holding it there, but it can snap off. Yeah, so I got to be careful not to like hit this against anything, touch it, snap it, accidentally snap it off or whatever. And then I try not to pull off too much glass here, not to waste too much. So I try to really like melt this off and then do that flame cut. Try to keep that glass on that rod there. So then we can go back to using that here in a moment. And then this here, some glass blowers would basically call it a day and be like, there, that's a hot air balloon. Or they would round this up a little bit or something. But when you really look at the balloon, you know, you could barely even notice the basket. Like the basket is so tiny compared to the envelope or the actual balloon. So I try to do mine as close to that as possible. But a lot of times you'll go to like different shops where they're selling balloon souvenirs and gifts and things like that. And the basket is like the same size as the balloon. It's like that physically is impossible. It would never lift off. You would have to have like your basket, if it was that big, it would have to be full of helium in order to lift off. Which I guess that could be an idea. You want a big old, the world's largest gondola, to make it look like the kind of that they have in the souvenirs. You just fill it up with helium. I don't know if that would work. But if it starts floating before the rest of the balloon, you're like, the basket's lifting off before the actual balloon starts taking off. You'd have to have the buoyancy just right. It takes some little bit of some mathematics, some physics to figure out what kind of weight you would need and how much helium you would need to get a big old gondola the size of a balloon to run. That would be ridiculous. Then I put a little dot of color right there on the bottom, and that's the basket. So it's a little tiny small bit compared to the rest of it. So it looks a little bit more lifelike, you know, a little bit more real. I don't know how much longer we're going to go. I just wanted to talk about Balloon Fiesta. I'm really excited. Tomorrow morning I plan to go and check out some balloons from I don't know where. They have a balloon setting up right around the corner from us, but I'll be driving around getting my daughter to school. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we'll go to see our friend Jonathan Wolf and Infinitude over at Monte Vista Elementary School. Usually they have patterns in check at Emerson Elementary School, which is around the corner from us, and they have the glass bottom. It's a glass a plexiglass bottom on the basket, so when you're in the basket and you're flying in the balloon, you can look directly down. There is no escaping the height there in that balloon. This is pretty awesome. But patterns in check, they're not on the list for tomorrow. I don't know if they're even here for this Balloon Fiesta. I don't know if issues arose with people coming in from different countries. I don't know if tariffs have made shipping balloons a lot more expensive. I don't know if people have gotten sick. You know, for the last 5 years, we've been losing a lot of people from different things and stuff. You know, the health of people in general is just diminishing a lot more rapidly these days. So yeah, hopefully they're okay. I don't see them on the list, so there's a bunch of other schools. I'm talking like probably a list of 100 schools that are going to be hosting different balloons, and they might have 1 or 2 balloons at their event tomorrow morning. So that's for Friday, October the 3rd. It's the 2nd today. So October 3rd, get ready, guys. It's almost time. So I'm wondering what balloons I'm going to be making this year. Usually we run into some of the same pilots and crew, and then they'll have new crew members and they haven't gotten their glass balloons made yet. So then they always will want balloons for their new crew members, and then sometimes the old crew members will want some just for themselves or for gifts for Christmas. Um, wherever they go after Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, they go back home either to their home state. Maybe they still live in New Mexico, but they're not in Albuquerque. Maybe they're completely out of the country, around the world somewhere else entirely. So that's one thing that's really cool is my glass balloons are all over the world these days, guys. There are people from all over the world who might not even know my name. They might not even speak English, but they may have some glass balloons. It's really cool to be one of the few glass blowers in the world who has replicated and made balloons like this for the pilots and the crew members themselves specifically. Like I said, this is an exclusive collectible or souvenir that you can only get from me unless you go to those shops that I mentioned earlier. I am the only one who carries these. I don't have a booth on field. You can't find a booth with glass balloons. Maybe eventually one year they'll be at the Discover Balloons booth, but I have not been able to get myself in gear to where I can make enough balloons to supply them while still making other items throughout the year to pay bills, pay rent, and all that stuff. So I'm slowly building up to that, and maybe it'll take another year or two. I've been making these balloons since 1999, and it's just finally, I'm realizing I really need to just focus on making glass balloons year round and just make this finally happen. Come up with a website and make it official to where you can order from around the world and get your glass balloons, and also place your custom orders and see if I can replicate your balloon or not. There's going to be some balloons out there that I cannot replicate at all. They'll be really hard. And then during Balloon Fiesta, there's going to be some times where I will be setting up, like, if we're making my balloon, it's not mine. If we're making our balloon, I might just like set it like this to where then you can see which balloon I'm working on. Well, that's not even in the screen there. But like I'll have to put it somewhere in a place where you can be like, oh, that's what he's working on, that one there. I see. Like maybe put it right there. Something like that. And be like, yeah, that's the balloon that we're working on today, folks. If I could put it in the holder and have it hanging like this, then you could really see it. But I gotta hook up that holder and everything. So we'll just set it right here. That way it doesn't accidentally catch fire. Sometimes I put hot glass right there. Alright, so it's Thursday. I don't know if you guys do Taco Tuesday, but I'm thinking we might do Tostada Thursday. Start bringing in Tostada Thursday, Fajita Fridays, Spaghetti Saturday, Soup Sunday, and what for Monday? Menudo Monday? Just kidding. Every day it would just be Mexican food. We'll have Menudo Monday, Taco Tuesday, Enchilada Wednesday. What starts with a W? And then you got Tostada Thursday, Fajita Friday. You got to have like a tamale, right? Tamale Saturday. Oh, and you got to have Frito pie at some point. Frito pie Sunday. All right, so we got that colors all nice and twisted up there. Oh, maybe I should bring this back some. Did I accidentally hit it? Maybe I pushed you guys back a little bit. That might be a little better view there. Oh, am I out? Excuse me. We went through these rods quick. That's good. And grab another, what is this, 4 foot, 5 foot rod here. We'll cut it into a 2.5 section. And do a little flame cut. Let's see, did we get that close to half? Always like to do the challenge. Oh, dang. Did we get close to half? Look at this. I've ever gotten it perfectly in half. Holy, look at that. All the way from one end to the other. That was awesome. I really cut those in half. That's the first time in 30 years I ever did that. I'm not even lying. Like, they're usually off by like a couple centimeters, an inch, half inch, 2 inch. Like, dang, that was good. Got that on video too, so I can prove it. Uh-oh, this one's gonna have a little lean to it. So let me know in the comments below, are you going to be at Balloon Fiesta? If so, what day, what time you plan to get there? Are you going to be shuttling? Are you going to take the park and ride? I hear park and ride is actually the best way to go because it pays for your way to get there. And then the buses, they're able to get through the traffic because they open up lanes for the buses. So you get past all the traffic. And I think they shuttle you up to like the front of the line. And maybe even get your own special way in because you're already paid through the parking ride, so you get admission and you get a ride to the field, and you get a ride back to your car. And I don't know how much it is, but it's pretty affordable from what I've hear, compared to having to go and drive in traffic on your own, and then then wait in line and pay for your tickets and get in and pay for parking. I think the parking ride is the way to go. And I think they make it super affordable so that way they have more people doing the parking ride and less people trying to drive in and do that traffic deal. So like I said, every morning I plan to go live. You can watch the Balloon Fiesta live every day from last year, 2024, Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. I have a playlist, and I can probably bring that up and put that in the comments or in the description as well. And then you can check out the footage from last year. You can see the drone show and all kinds of stuff that was going on. I think there was maybe one morning when we didn't fly for Dawn Patrol, but I do believe we flew every day, including that day we just were grounded for Dawn Patrol. We couldn't fly at 6 a.m. So we had to wait for like 2 or 3 waves of other balloons to lift off in their scheduled time frame, and then we could then jump in when there was an opening after they all went up. And that was pretty exciting. We were able to still go up, but also it was pretty crazy to be setting up our balloon when there were more balloons on the field than we're used to. Because Dawn Patrol, like I said, there's only a dozen balloons, and we don't have other balloons in our way when we're trying to like run the crown line and things like that. But if you want to learn about all these different terms, like what the crown line is, what the envelope is, what the burners are, how the valves work on the burners, all these different things, I would highly recommend checking out my morning show. I do plan to go live every morning, and if I have time in the next day or two, maybe tonight, maybe when these are like in the kiln, I have a GoPro that was gifted to me by our pilot, and I'm sure he wants to see me using it and have it in action this year. And I haven't even figured out how it's going to work. I don't even know if I need to charge it overnight or what. So I really need to figure that out in the next day or two if I'm going to be using it. And at the same time, I don't even know where I'm going to be uploading anything because our laptop is still down. And we have no computer in our home except for my desktop, my Dell desktop, which I can't do any I don't think I can